the chair of the Public Art Committee. I'm really excited to have everyone here this morning, and thank you all for being here despite the treacherous conditions. It is officially 8:47. I'm calling this meeting to order. We are going to do a quick roll call to confirm committee member attendance. When I call your name, please say present. Commissioner Fritz Friedman. Jessica Berlanga Taylor. Francisco Eme.
Present.
Here.
Dr. Melinda Guion. Wayne Holton.
Here.
Commissioner Abe Hughes.
Present.
Commissioner Alessandro Moctezuma. Commissioner Imani Robinson.
Present.
Dr. Anjun Park. And Dr. Denise Rogers.
Present.
Thank you. Your attendance has been noted. We will now move on to non-agenda public comment. The public was invited to submit public comment on agenda and non-agenda items via a web form accessible through the agenda and the Commission's website. Members of the public may also join this meeting in person and as webinar attendees. If members of the public have submitted comments in writing via the web form, staff will read aloud public comments submitted per city public comment protocol. I will call on Chuck to read aloud any non-agenda public comment or to call on any attendees who would like to provide comment.
Thank you, Commissioner Opstead. We have no comments submitted in writing. There is one virtual attendant. If you would like to provide non-agenda public comment, please press the hand raise button now. I'll send you a notification to unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself and you'll have 3 minutes to provide comment. Please state your name for the record before providing comment. Please press the hand raise button now if you'd like to provide non-agenda comment. Seeing none.
Thank you. Welcome and good morning, everyone. I will briefly mention that the temporary exhibit and murals proposals for Safdie Rabinez Architects and the AJA project respectively were approved in January's full commission meeting. We do have one action item today for the January 24th, 2024 Public Art Committee meeting. I hope everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes from the January meeting. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes as they are? Approve the minutes. Okay. We have an approval. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Now we will take a vote. I will call your name and you will respond out loud with a yay, nay, or abstain. And please remember, you do not need to have been present at the January meeting to vote or discuss. Francisco Eme.
Yay.
Wayne Holton.
Yay.
Commissioner Abe Hughes.
Yay.
Commissioner Imani Robinson.
Yay.
And Dr. Denise Rogers.
Yay.
And my vote is an abstain. Thank you, everybody. Chuck, please read aloud any public comment for this item that was submitted in writing and call on any attendees that would like to provide comment for this item.
Thank you, Commissioner Opstead. No comments submitted in writing, and I'll ask those in virtual attendance if you would like to provide comment on this item, please press the hand raise button now. Seeing none.
Thank you. We have an action item, which is the final artwork proposal for the Willie Henderson Sports Complex by James Dinn. We'll start with a conflict of interest disclosures. The recommendations affect contracts with artist James Dinn. Please assess whether you have any conflicts to disclose. When I call your name, if you have no conflicts, state no conflicts. If you have a conflict, please recuse yourself from the discussion and voting on the action item. Francisco Eme.
No conflict.
Wayne Holton.
No conflicts.
Commissioner Hughes.
No conflicts.
Commissioner Robinson.
No conflict.
Dr. Denise Rogers.
No conflict.
And I do not have a conflict. No conflict. Thank you. I'd like to now call on Dr. Laura Bullock to provide an overview of the project proposal and staff recommendations.
Thank you, Commissioner Opstead. Okay, so as a reminder, where we are in this process is the artist is presenting, or I am presenting on behalf of the artist, his final artwork proposal. And after this, it will hopefully go to the commission where it will be recommended that the executive director approves it. So next slide, please. Okay, so as a reminder, the Willie Henderson Sports Complex is an existing sports complex in District 4 and in the Mountain View neighborhood. And it is currently set to undergo 2 sets of renovations. So right now we're in phase 1. And so for that, James Dinn has been contracted to produce an artwork. Next slide. And in this slide, it's just kind of giving some photos that show context. Just as a reminder, it's in a residential neighborhood. There's nearby high schools. The park is very actively used. Many different sports are played here. Okay, so this is an aerial view of the artwork. I thought this was a relevant slide because it shows all 3 components of the artwork. So as a reminder, kind of the most standout component is the Let's Move sculptures, which is a series of 5 sculptures in different kind of moments of movement made of steel and powder coated. And then there is the wall of selfies, which will consist of photographs that are taken from community members in the neighborhood. So James will hold an event where community members can show up in person and have their photos taken, but he'll also provide an online option. So people that can't attend can still submit selfies. And then he's going to create those out of powder coated aluminum. And then the third element is an inspiring quote. So this walkway where you see the quote is going to have several quotes. The overall kind of project team is going to incorporate quotes by other athletes. The one James picked is by Marcus Allen, who was a local athlete. He went to Lincoln High School, which is in the neighborhood, and is in like the Hall of Fame for football. So next slide. So here is an overall view of the sculpture. So you all have seen the project in the preliminary idea phase and the schematic phase. And so in addition to that, James has gone out into the community for 2 community events and also taken online feedback from forums that we've provided throughout the duration of this process. So at the last Public Art Committee meeting, one of the comments that was made was that the metal, James was considering shades of metals for the coloring of the figures. So it was gold through a dark bronze color. And the comment came up that it kind of was reading as race. And so just because of the nature of 5 individuals being in a line, it was kind of maybe suggesting a hierarchy. So James really considered that feedback. He did a artist open house event where he also was getting feedback on that kind of notion. So in the end, what he came up with is what you're seeing on the screen. So the first figure is a gold, so it'll be a metallic, just like a gold medal. And then the other figures are multicolored. So it's just kind of a really bright and vibrant, friendly, approachable sculpture that still maintains all of the values and meaning of the original and what the community wanted from the sculpture, which was addressing just all the sports at the park and athleticism and how community members can partake in these events, and then kind of aspirational goals, which the quote sort of addresses. Yeah, next, sorry. And this slide is just reminding you of kind of some initial inspiration that James took from Michelle Obama's Let's Move campaign. Next slide. And then the last few slides are just kind of close-ups of just each element. So this would be the wall of selfies. It would be sort of an abstracted figural representation of portraits of community members. And James has done this many times in other projects, so it's pretty much vandal resistant, and there are ways to remove graffiti if it does happen. Next slide.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
And this is the quote again up here. I'm gonna look at my computer to read it because I can't really see it from there. So it's love yourself, respect yourself, never sell yourself short, believe in yourself regardless of what people think. You can accomplish anything, absolutely anything, if you set your mind to it. Next slide. Okay, so the motion on the table is to recommend that the city's commission I'm just going to read it. Recommend to the City of San Diego Commission for Arts and Culture that the executive director of the commission accept the final artwork proposal by James Dinh in fulfillment of the City of San Diego's collecting mission, collection scope, and accession criteria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. I would like to also acknowledge that Dr. Melinda Guillen has joined us. And do I? Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Dr. Anjum Park has joined us.
Okay.
And then do we need to do a disclosure also for one more?
Yes,
Make sure.
on needs to.
You have a,
Okay.
you have one? Oh, of course.
So just read over it. Again. Can you say it verbally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he ask yet?
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we want to go ahead and redo a conflict of interest disclosure. The recommendation affects contracts with artist James Dinh. Please assess whether you have any conflicts to disclose when I call your name. If you have no conflicts, state no conflicts. If you do have a conflict, please recuse yourself from the discussion and voting on the action item. Dr. Anjum Park? Thank you so much. So once again, thank you, Laura, for the presentation. I now request any public comment for this agenda item. Chuck, please read any public comment that was submitted in writing and call on any attendees that would like to provide comment.
Thank you, Commissioner Opsted. No comments submitted in writing. To those attendees in virtual attendance, please press the hand raise button now if you would like to provide comment on this item. And seeing none.
Thank you, Chuck. Would anyone like to make a motion to recommend to the commission that the executive director accept the final artwork proposal in fulfillment of the city's collecting mission and scope?
I'd like to make a motion.
We have a first. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you very much. We now have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Of course. I love this. And we had so much fun. It was just before Christmas, and the park was having their Christmas celebration with Santa and everything. And it really was a major discussion with the colors, and it was fun. We had a chance to move them around on how they should look, and the bronze and the gold, and we were still making issues about it. And so I love the gold stays. Vibrant color comes in. We weren't sure about what the photos were going to look like. I love that, especially I'm giving it that personal touch because I definitely will send in a selfie. You know, and then the fact that it's going to get all artified. So I really appreciate the efforts. I think this is really one of my first from the very beginning, from the panel to all the way, you know, so let's just see if I'm still around for the actual installation.
You have to stay. You're here for 5 more years.
Okay, good. Okay. So hopefully that will happen. But yeah, this has been a wonderful process. And I really love James Dinh's just attitude, just very open. I'm just excited about it all. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
May I say, because it was one of my concerns with the color. I mean, this is beautiful and it's so vibrant and it's going to be a focal point in the park with all the renovations that are happening. And I agree, the faces, that contrast with the bright, I mean, he really did a good job. Yeah. And being open to the feedback is really appreciated. So
Yeah.
thank him. Thank you.
I will. Thank you.
I also want to thank everybody. I believe it was 2 meetings ago that it went from some real concerns to this absolutely just everyone in agreement, and just compliments to James for being, like I said, so open, being so inclusive, having some of those difficult conversations, and really coming up with a really vibrant piece of artwork for the city.
I've got a comment. Chair Opstead. Any way that we can encourage him to maybe get a selfie from Marcus Allen, or maybe some of the other very famous players from that community? Wouldn't it be great to be in touch?
That
and
would
get
really
that?
be great. We are having an issue. My son did play football with his son. So I'm gonna have my son hunt the son down to get a hold of him. I just text my son and I just sent a picture of I sent the quote to him so that he can find his dad. So we're working on it.
That would be
And
just a
and we can
nice touch.
definitely
Yeah.
still continue to work on, I will bring that up at my next community recreation group meeting, because those are a lot of folks that know the actual athletes that have been in the community. So we will see about, rallying up the former athletes and bringing them and getting a selfie. That'd be great.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Are there any other comments? I see none. You're so excited. So now we will take a vote. I will call your name and you will respond out loud with a yay, nay, or abstain. Francisco M.
Yay.
Wayne Holton, yay. Commissioner Abe Hughes,
Yay.
Commissioner Imani Robinson,
Yay.
Dr. Anjun Park, and Dr. Denise Rogers.
Yay.
And mine is an enthusiastic yay.
So bigger this one.
Fantastic. We now have our reports. I'd like to call on Christine Jones to provide the staff reports.
First of all, good morning, and thank you for being here in this rainy season. Just before we're going to kind of go through some of our capital improvement projects with you again, public art associated with those, and some of our department initiated projects, just to kind of remind you. Obviously, many of these projects do take years, so we just kind of want to periodically update you just so you know what's going on. In addition to that, just a couple of quick updates. World Design Capital, as you know, is in full swing. So the calendar is up. All of the events coming up this year are at WDC2024.org. I think their next event will be down in Tijuana with some festivities the end of February, if you're interested in that. In addition, as part of an announcement last week, World Design Capital announced the winner of the pavilion competition. So that competition was to create essentially a portable, mobile, temporary structure that will be activated with different types of World Design Capital events and programs. During the year, it will be moving to Tijuana, then moving to San Diego over the course of several months later this year. Spring probably in Tijuana, and summer and fall in San Diego. And the winners of that competition were Helio Architecture and Design, a local architectural firm in collaboration with Daniel Ruanova, who is a Tijuana-based artist. So just more information on that is available at WDC2024.org. And then I'll also share, as part of the community kind of initiated programs where people submitted their own activations happening. There's over 300 activations happening. That calendar is being updated periodically as different things are scheduled. The city of San Diego has 2 of our initiatives that are identified as part of that: Far South Border North, which is our
program to support job creation of arts and culture practitioners, increasing public awareness of different things such as climate change, social justice, public health, and community engagement, civic participation. So we will be having a public impact day later this year. We'll let you know when that is. We'll be able to highlight and celebrate all of those artists and all the amazing work that they're doing in community. And in addition to that, we were endorsed for our art public sphere. And that is an initiative which might be new to most of you. And I'm not sure you were on the PAC when we did it the first time, but it is essentially it's a capacity building opportunity for artists who are interested in moving into public art. And it's usually a series of a day-long kind of panels and conversations to really deep dive into what public art is and how an artist needs to think about it in terms of design, fabrication, installation, project budgeting, and all the other things. So we usually bring in different speakers, such as architects and different artists that have facilitated projects with the city or other places as part of that. We have an application process for that. The cohort usually is about 25, 30 folks. It will be open nationally as well as part of World Design Capital, anticipating that in the summer. So more information to come later this spring when we're ready to issue the call and help you guys, help us promote that opportunity. But we have found that it's been, we've done it once before. And what was really successful in that process the first time is we've seen a lot of those artists that actually participated end up getting opportunities at the city through competitive processes for other public art projects and other municipalities and different agencies as well. So it definitely is an opportunity to springboard into kind of moving into your art practice into the public practice. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to our public art team to walk us through updates for our public art projects. Yeah.
So this workshop is going to happen. Can someone attend just for information?
All public art committee members are able to audit.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first project on the table, or not really on the table, but first project presented is Pacific Highlands Ranch Branch Library. And Janelle Iglesias, who I think all of you are familiar with from Here Comes the Neighborhood 1 in San Ysidro. She is the artist on this project, making an incredible immersive tile installation that involves Kumeyaay, English, Spanish, consideration of native plants in the area. Anyway, her fabrication is underway, and we hope that it will be installed later this year. Fingers crossed. So next. Okay, so this is the Fairmount Avenue Fire Station. The artist is LA based. Her name is Susan Logoretzi. And the artwork, as a reminder, maybe some of you haven't seen it before, but it's 3 different panels that reference kind of different features of the neighborhood, including homes and the landscape. And fabrication's also underway for this project, and then we expect it to be installed and this project finished in 2028. Next slide. Okay, and so this one is it's happening sooner. So the Canyon Street Pocket Park, Nate Page, also LA based. He is in the midst of fabrication for this one, and we hope that it will be installed in the summer, fall of this year. So coming up soon. Next slide. And Marisol and Ingram, they are working on their construction documents currently. And so for Buyer Park. And so as a reminder, after that stage, then they'll enter the fabrication stage. And this project, we're estimating it might be finished around 2026. Next slide. Okay, and Belize Iristai. So the name of this park is changing, and I can't remember the new name of the park, but it's not going to be called Southwest Park anymore. So next time we present on this, hopefully I'll have the new name, but for all intents and purposes, she has created this Veladora sculpture for Southwest Park. And she is almost through the construction documents phase, which is really exciting. And she'll begin thinking about fabrication. And this project, we're thinking 2026, 2027 is when the completion will be as well. And Trevor, so I just submitted his construction documents. So that's really exciting as well. So this phase is well underway. And yeah, all is good. He'll be fabricating soon. And Hidden Trails is scheduled to be finished in 2026. And, San Carlos Library. Okay, so this is a new one. We will hopefully be able to announce the artist who is procured for this at the next meeting. I think we should know by then for sure. So that's exciting. Yeah.
So I just have a request on those that are new projects. Is
Mhm.
there any way that you can give us a little bit of advance notice so we can, because you have a process, right?
Yes.
And people can apply?
So
yes.
we went through that process for San Carlos many, many, many months ago.
Okay. maybe
Yeah,
I
it-
forgot.
So maybe, yeah, so there was an open competition. It was promoted heavily, open to any artists, authorized to work in the United States.
Mhm. I'm just reflecting on my recollection and memory is that I don't remember a big push here. And I'm sure you have website coverage and all this and all that, but it would be nice to get involved at the very, very, very beginning so we can let all of our artist friends know. I mean, they're looking for us to inform them, right?
So what we can do is, and what, has been done periodically in the past is just to forward the announcement to all of you
Yes.
via email. So then you guys know and can share that with your networks, right?
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
Discuss it here, because how we do what, maybe 2 or 3 a year? That's about it of new?
Maybe. It just kind of depends on what's eligible, but
Yeah.
I think that's a good estimate.
Okay.
Yeah.
One question regarding the name of the Southwest Park. Who is changing the name or why? What's going on there?
I don't know. I heard a rumor from the project team that it was changing. So I can look into that. I mean, I want to know as
Mhm.
well. So I'll let you know. Christine, do you have any insight?
I was going to say, usually that comes from community. Typically, it goes through a
Mhm.
process to rename a park. Park has a whole policy regarding how
Mm.
that happens. So I would imagine it's going through that specific process. And usually,
Mm.
again, it's generated from some kind of community interest.
And that is decided by Parks and Rec.
Correct.
Parks and Rec. Okay, thank you.
And thank you for asking that. I was going to ask the same exact question. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next slide. Okay, I hand it to Chuck.
Okay, so picking it up with some projects that have been underway for quite a while now. So the Pure Water North City project, for which the artist Christian Muller is producing the artwork Daphne, the sculpture Daphne. So the Pure Water North facility is one of the largest CIP projects that the city has ever undertaken, an enormously complex project. So we are looking forward to seeing Daphne installed by the end of 2025, if I'm not mistaken. So fabrication is underway, however. So in addition to that, another project that we hope to see a little bit sooner, but that has been underway for quite some time now, is Mark Riegelman's Blue Skies sculpture, which has been designed for the new East Village Green. If you've been in the East Village at all recently, you may have noticed that 14th Street between F and G is closed and the surrounding lots are all fenced off. They're currently constructing the parking garage that will be underneath this new park in the East Village. So that construction is underway with that. We hope to see Blue Skies installed about this time next year. So that's what we're currently anticipating. So we have Mira Mesa Community Park, which is another very elaborate CIP, which is to include an entire a brand new aquatic center. So I think that's one of the things that is causing this project to take quite a while to complete. The artist Kate Clark, AKA Parkeology, is producing the Shadow Grotto. The designs for which were produced in collaboration with community members, or the designs for the perforations on it that create the shadow projections, designed in very close collaboration with the community. We're looking forward to seeing this project by early 2026. Moving on from capital improvement projects to some department initiated projects, the project for Presidio Park that is currently in design by artist Adam Frank. There has been some delays caused for cascading reasons from the pandemic, as well as accessibility issues in the park itself that have delayed this project. But we are starting to get this project underway again now that we've kind of cleared some of those hurdles, and we're sort of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel of some of those issues. So stay tuned. We'll be we're anticipating this project in the not too distant future to come back before you for recommendation. In addition to that, we're starting the second iteration of the Here Comes the Neighborhood initiative with Here Comes the Neighborhood Encanto. We're currently organizing panels and so in the artist procurement phase for that. So we'll be looking forward in the coming months to let you know who will be receiving up to 3 commissions for permanent artworks in and around the Black Arts and Culture District, so which is along Imperial Avenue between 61st and 68th Street in Encanto. And that is the overview of all of the projects that we are currently managing. So we're happy to answer any questions you might have about these.
So in the Encanto work, where it says artist procurement, meaning everyone has already put in and now you're creating a panel to go over the artists that have applied? Is that what's happening?
Yes, correct. The applications have been submitted for
Okay.
that project. So
Okay.
now we're getting into the paneling and contracting phase.
I was most excited about the updates because I looked back at Daphne and I think that started around 2018 before
Mhm.
the world fell apart.
Possibly even sooner.
2017, maybe.
Yeah.
So we know that these take time and there's processes, but it's really nice to get the updates. Thank you very, very much for that. And thank you, Christine, for your report. Dr. Bullock, Chuck, and then also to the rest of the team. What you all are doing is absolutely incredible. And I know how hard you're working with a staff that should be twice as big. It is greatly appreciated by all of us, all the commission and all of San Diego. What you guys are doing on seeing these projects, there's a lot going on right now. So thank you all for all your hard work and efforts.
Quick question. Go ahead, please, Denise.
Oh, just one question on the dates, the Fairmont Fire Station, you said 2028, but I'm wondering, was there an issue because was hers the oldest? Or,
Actually, hers wasn't the oldest, but because these are associated with huge capital improvement projects and they need to be integrated and thoughtfully kind of in parallel in terms of their fabrication installation. Sometimes capital improvements get delayed for various reasons. It could be something related to the budget. It could be related to something in the community that needs to be addressed. So, we have to kind of wait, sometimes when those kinds of things happen.
okay.
The only question I had is, I recall something about Kate Sessions Park. Does that make any sense that we were doing something at Kate Sessions?
Well, we did a park social project there.
That might be it.
Yeah, a number,
Which-
yeah.
Yeah, which leads to my second question that I had, and I don't know if it's for this committee or not, but I know last year we did have Park Social and it was all summer and it was a real user of a lot of your time, right? And we got all kinds of people involved. Is there going to be a repeat of that this coming summer and is at this committee's area of let's just call it, domain. Is it our domain here?
So, okay, couple questions in
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah.
so Park Social ended in November of 2022. It was, a very robust program. It's anticipated that we will do another one. It was so well received, both by the artists themselves as well as different communities across the city. Where that fits in over the next few years, we're trying to determine because it is a large initiative. So we have to kind of factor that into other priorities of our office. So we're looking at that right now, but that's anticipated, and similar to the last time, the PAC is involved in that process. So, the artists do present their projects, or we presented for them. They are temporary, so it doesn't go through the extensive process permanent works do, because these are supposed to be quick and activation oriented, but the PAC is involved.
Yeah, because I would just like to say that I think the community really loves this kind of pop-up type of stuff, and maybe we could be less ambitious. I don't think we need to have so many going on, but it'd be nice to have pop-up events and pop-up activity, almost every year, because I think that's an expression of how we're bringing culture to the city as well.
So we'll be looking at that, those are the types of things that will be kind of thought through with regards to the Creative City cultural planning process as well. And there could be some activations and tactics coming out of that as well.
When is the panel for that Encanto Here Comes the Neighborhood going to be put together? I'd like to be on it.
We already went through the process of getting PAC member volunteer, who is lovely Denise over here.
Great. Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
No, maybe just, I second Abe with the with the Park Social project. I think the feedback that I got from community members and from artists is that definitely should be happening more often, or they would like to happen more often. Because otherwise it's perceived as, okay, we come do something and leave forever, right? So I think parks, yes, they need to be activated, maybe, as Abe said, with a less ambitious, large-scale project, but smaller things more often might have a better impact. That is something that I perceive and I hear from the community.
Thank you very much for that. And absolutely agree 100%. It's wonderful. Chuck, are there any final public comments for any of the items or reports that were submitted in writing, or call in on any attendees that would like to provide comment for these items?
No comments submitted in writing. I'll ask those in virtual attendance. If you would like to provide comment for this item, please press the hand raise button now. And seeing none.
Okay. Well, thank you, committee members, for making time in your busy schedules to help move the final artwork proposal by James Dinh forward. Thank you very much for that. Our next meeting is planned for Friday, March 8th, and this meeting is officially adjourned at 9:25. Thank you all.
Thank you.